Welcome to Streets, Sports, and Success with your hosts, Simon and Maurice. Let's go.
What's up? Welcome to another episode of Street, Sports, and Success with me and my brother Mo. And let's kick it off and let's talk about I seen a thing yesterday said when you adopt the habits of success becomes a habit. And so that's where, you just got done speaking to our agency about the momentum that you feel.
Yes.
The momentum that you feel is behind you. I feel the same thing. And I think that's called the habits of success. So success is just starting to become a habit because the habits, I think if you apply and you learn to apply them here, apply them there, apply them here, they're all very, very similar.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Even though basketball is different than football, if we have a skill set and we apply what it took to be great in basketball and you apply that to what it's going to take you to be great in football, if the skill set is there, it's going to work. It's going to apply because it takes the same amount of work ethic, drive, coachability, whatever. And, Kobe Bryant, as an example, I don't know if you've ever seen the Mamba mentality video, but it's fire. And so he talked about...
What is it on Netflix?
YouTube.
Oh, okay.
And he talked about when he was young, he was playing in a summer league, basketball league that had a bunch of talented kids in it. He was 10 years old. Guess how many points he scored?
I would imagine not that many since he's telling the story.
Zero. Right? Zero points.
Was this he was in Italy, right?
It's 10 years old. I don't know exactly where it was.
Gotcha.
I get the vibe it was in Philly.
Okay.
But it was a hot summer league, supposed to be good, 10 years old, didn't score 1 point. It's LeBron James. You know what I mean? Like, when did you start playing football?
88. So that was
5 years old. Yep. So were you good at 10?
No, I was just a big kid running around.
Just big as hell?
Just big as hell.
When did you get real good?
Probably 10th, 11th grade year. I started to
you was good before that, bro. Your freshman year, you're an animal.
No, so yeah.
I saw you squatting 500 pounds.
Yeah, so
in 8th grade.
Yeah, no,
I saw you grab the rim at the YMCA in 8th grade. What are you talking about?
So I was dunking the ball in 8th grade, but I'm talking about to get good at sport. You could say
that shit ain't normal, right?
Yeah, you could say junior high. Yeah.
So junior high?
Junior high is when I started dominating sport.
So this kid, he said what he started to do is, he said the following year, I said all I was going to do is I was going to focus on getting better in, call it, dribbling and passing. Like, that's it. He said I focused on those two things. When everybody would go for a break for lunch, I would just keep practicing, keep playing, keep shooting, keep doing whatever. He said I was younger and I wasn't the best one, so nobody wanted to follow me. But I could tell people were looking and they wanted to follow me, but because I wasn't that good and I was younger, they like, well, I ain't going to be that guy now because he already started doing it. I think by 3 years later, he was like dominating the whole deal. And so he talked about how he wasn't really as gifted as the other kids, even at 13. He said there was people more gifted. He gives all the credit to the work that he put into the game. And then he went on to talk about his trainer. He had a personal trainer. He would allow him he would meet with them. He called his trainer to meet with them at 4:00 in the morning all the time to come, just shoot, in the gym.
I think he had the same trainer Michael Jordan had. Tim Grover from Chicago.
Yeah, I know they overlapped for sure and did some work. But moral of the story is, I think the habits of success is what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. And what I love about this is, and it's not a lack of preparation. We just been doing things off the cuff because it comes out more naturally. Yeah. What are some habits you think of success that stick out to you that would transcend business opportunities or whatever it is? Just you can apply them anywhere.
Yeah, I'll say two things. The first thing is that I don't know. I think more of these podcasts or videos should be done freely. Because I find out when I just have normal conversation with you, there's my fault. There's a lot to learn, or we have just good conversations that we can share with other people, and I think this is a part of it. So I don't feel bad about it no more. I don't feel like we've not prepared. I just feel like sometimes people just want to hear a conversation. Like you would love to hear a conversation right now with Bill Gates and Warren Buffett unstructured. Just talking, right?
No
100%, right? So a few things that transcend that I think that stick out are people who are early starters, right? Or very successful people or habits. And
early starters of the day.
Early starters of the day. And what I found out is that they've put a value on organizing themselves before they get to the world. And they're in tune. And mind, body, spirit sounds so cliche that I just want to kind of like unfold it a little bit for people. And what they do, is they spend time either exercising and decompressing themselves and getting physical momentum and blood flowing and just their level of energy going, or they've began to read or put their spirit in the right place and they're intentional about how they want to feel heading into the day. And so I'm not equating that to monetary success or financial success. I'm just talking about those are more peaceful and happy and successful people where, it doesn't matter if they're working at Nationwide Insurance or if they're working at, I'm just thinking about companies in my neighborhood, IKEA or Best Buy or whatever. These people are just typically happier, more put together, centered people. And you can kind of tell that when people walk and they talk and they're happy, or when they come out the locker room after the gym, they seem more relaxed and pleasant. You know what I'm saying?
Big time.
In comparison to the front side of it. I think that's one of them.
I think so much of people being in bad moods to start the day is that they're rushing around, they're late.
Yes.
Because that's annoying. You know what I mean? It's like, all right, I got to hurry.
Like you're chasing.
I got to run this light. You know what I mean? I'm diving into meeting starts and I'm not prepared. You know what I mean?
Yes.
It's like, and then you spill something. You know what I mean?
100%.
So it creates this negative momentum. I agree with you, man, that one of the habits that I've found with people that win is that they're getting early risers, man.
I give you another one, right? This is one that I think that I stole from How to Win Friends and Influence People, Dale Carnegie, is just intentionally being nice to people, and setting the dynamics of how you want people to receive you. And I'm not sure that everybody gets this or they're aware of it, but you have the ability and the choice with every single person that you meet to smile, to say hello, to after you're done getting served at a restaurant, thank you for servicing me. When you're at the gas station, to the gas clerk who probably look like she's seen 1,000 people or he's seen 1,000 people. Hey, hope your day go well. Like those little things, soft skills and being intentional about it. Those things are habits that I've seen like people who are successful have, and it's because they're grateful. I think that like the
gratitude,
the constant
attitude
state
of gratitude.
Yeah, it's a constant state of like I'm in the zone of just so much. I don't want to call it pleasure. I'm in the zone of so much, like so many good things happen in my life that I just feel alive. And I think the more conscious and aware you become, you start to feel just more alive and aware. And you're happy and you want to spread that joy. But these people are typically successful people. If you just look at them, like the person who's unsuccessful isn't going around telling everybody thank you. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody who hears this, you show me where the person who had a shitty attitude was going around telling people thank you and being appreciative of everything. But people who are typically in Let me please explain this. Success is not just defined in my world as monetary gain. We're not just talking about riches. We're talking about feeling full and putting a different sort of value or a different definition of what success is. Or these are habits that you can have, but it gives you a different level of success just rather than just money. Sometimes when we hear success, we always think of like money and piles of like dollar bills or piles of digits in our account. Yes. But that's part of it. But there's also a part of just feeling spiritually well and things of that nature. Go ahead, my fault.
I agree. I think, what I've learned is just money accentuates the person that you are. So you got to be careful the person that you become because it'll just accentuate the person that you are. But I think another habit is sacrifice. Success habit is sacrifice. For everything that you gain, you got to give up something. And so I've learned that the greats are able to sacrifice what they want right now, immediate gratification for down the road gratification, immediate sleep at times, or immediate focus, things of pleasure that they want to do right now that they think this maybe needs to happen down the road, or even monetarily, immediate spending this money versus saving it so I can invest, back into my business. I think it all boils down to what I'm trying to say is sacrifice. What are things that you think people need to sacrifice? And everybody's will be a little bit different. Mm-hmm. But what do you think are things that people need to sacrifice in order to have success? And let's talk about business, and then let's talk about outside of business. What sacrifices you think need to be made?
I'm not sure what category this fits in, but the sacrifice are material possessions. And I was speaking about this downstairs, but I think more people trap themselves from buying things that they really can't afford, which then causes anxiety or panic inside of their lives elsewhere. And what I mean, being able to buy something, being able to afford something are two different things based upon what you're trying to accomplish. And what I've seen is that people get into this repetitive cycle of having to have the new shoes, pants, belt, clothes, and there's no sacrifice from a personal clothing perspective or from a vehicle perspective when they really can't afford it. And with clothes and garments, there's always something new to buy, because there's always somebody making the new cool hip thing. You know what I'm saying? Yep. Which then keeps you in the space of always having to do that, because that's and I'm digging deeper and I'm trying to unwrap this. When you begin to buy things and you want people to view you in that light or that image of somebody who has luxury or you can afford luxury, you're setting yourself in motion to have to keep that up if that's how you want to be viewed. Simon may be able to do it because his business allows him to do it. Somebody else who's just starting off, you feel I'm coming from? Yep. They may not be able to do it because their business over a period of time has not allotted them to do that. So I see
even all the way up. I look at my first real nice watch. I was over 5 years winning in the game, not just in the game. 5 years winning in the game before I'm like, man, can I really do something? Do this? I didn't buy my first real, true, brand new car, off the lot till after. 5 years in the game. What people don't see is
5 years. That's an investment. 7
years in the game. I was living in a small 3-bedroom condo, 1-car garage. When I had already won awards on stage, I already was a millionaire. I was still living in that area,
100%,
just to stack money, just to save money so I could reinvest, those things. And I see people now, 2 years in the game, 3 years in the game, already buying nicer watches than me, already, nicer thing. And I'm happy for them. You know what I mean? It ain't like, well, why do you have that? I'm like hating on them. I'm happy for them. I just worry about them. Like, what are you doing? What should you have done with that money? You know what I mean? That could have made you more money,
yes,
to where we can get that watch in 5 years, or we can get that house in 10 years, or or whatever it is. But sacrifice, I think, is one that people need to get.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think? I said material possessions. Do you see something that people don't sacrifice?
Yeah, like feelings, like what they want to do. Like, I would love to train jiu-jitsu 3 times a day. Okay, I love the game, and I'm good at it. I mean, I'm good at it. I'm above average at it, and so it's addicting to me. But I got to keep it in its compartment to where it doesn't disrupt
everything else.
So you'll see me training jiu-jitsu 6 o'clock in the morning, or you'll see me, training when there's nothing else going on. I don't really allow that to flow into disrupting my business or disrupting my family too much. Same thing goes with the gym. I like being fit. I like looking fit. I like being healthy. I like taking care. Outside of the benefits that I feel of the momentum in the morning, one of the reasons why I work out early is because if I don't work out early, that's me taking time away from running business when people are awake. When I'm working out, nobody's missing nothing. There ain't no business popping because everybody's sleeping.
We're all asleep.
But 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, people need me. I need to be providing value out there. Me doing this ain't providing nobody value. I'm not a professional bodybuilder.
Yeah, for those who can't see him, he was doing curls.
You know, so I think sacrificing video games, weights, whatever, fun, whatever it is that you feel like you want to do, sacrificing maybe not doing it, or if you do need to do it. Like, I think I want people to work out in my business. You got to make sure that it's not in the middle of your day. You know what I mean? Like, I'd love to go work out all the time at noon or 3, but I need to be...
It's disruptive.
I got to warm up. I got to drive there. So I'm really eating up 2 to 5, and it's prime time. I got to be recruiting, training, developing, personal recruiting, talking to somebody. You know what I mean? Or going home and spending time with my family because I'm on the grind constantly. So I at least got to go give them some love while I can.
Hey, well, I give you this one. When you said that, it made me think about this. I think people don't sacrifice the opposite sex enough. And I've seen some people who care more about their relationship than the thing that they have been called for, have signed up to do. And I see more people becoming limited by the, I don't know, what do you call this? The pressures of a relationship, the dynamic and the expectations that this.
How long have you been with Ashley now?
15 years.
15 years. So I've been with Nat now over 11 years. And, you know, people hearing this, well, why do you think we're able to keep the relationship together and still grind?
Oh, great.
And other people can't keep the relationship together and they're not allowed to grind.
I got a few things. I think the first thing that comes to mind is that I've shown results. I think if you go out...
Got to show results.
I think everybody...
Might not be immediate, though.
No.
You didn't show immediate results.
No. But your person who's next to you can tell when you're onto something. Because they can tell the look in your eye, they can tell the urgency in your moves. They can see that if he's sacrificing this, yes, you know, because the woman has an intuition or a spirit or a feeling where she could feel exactly where you at with stuff. Like, is he interested in what he's doing? And whether win, lose, or draw, if you're dedicated to it, they can respect it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And I think that's like a feeling based upon the amount of time you're putting into something. She could say, yo, this dude committed to this. And so I'm going to go ahead and put my little selfish desires to the back because I want to have him be all that he can be, right? And so I think Ashley did that. And then when you show results, she may not like it, she may not understand it, but she can respect the fact that you're pursuing something. With other people who get into entrepreneurial ventures and are halfway committed, and they have these halfway failures or they have halfway follow through, they begin to blame the woman as being the distractor instead of them saying, hey, you know, allow me to grow in this space and to give this stuff a real shot to see if I can come back and prove. And so I've seen guys allow these things to distract them. And sometimes the women want to say to you, yo, bro, you're just not committed to it. Like the next person may be committed to it. And this may not be for you. This may be part of your desires. But I think if you want that in your life, it's important for you to show results because there's no woman like you wouldn't like she's not about to come back and fight you over you coming back and showing winning results because the woman wants to be successful. Like women want successful men in some regard on all levels. Everybody likes to be man, woman. Everybody likes to be around successful people, period. Let's establish that. Everybody wants to be around success because it's functioning at the highest level of where we're at. In our society, right? Everybody wants to be around that. You want to be a part of a winning team. You know what I'm saying?
No doubt.
And so I think Ashley I don't even say put up, Ashley supports it. This is the difference between putting up with something and supporting it. Ashley supports it because she understands what I'm trying to build. And I don't think guys, I can even tell you.
I've seen guys have success and still not have support.
And still not have support?
Still not have support. Of work. Like,
what
is it like? What I think it really takes to build something, I don't know. You know, you got to be putting in 70-hour work weeks right now. Would you say?
Easy.
But easy. Same.
Go ahead.
Same. And so I think a lot of it is not having a backbone.
100%.
Like, Nat got a backbone. I also got a backbone. So it ain't like I just got this weak woman. It's we wouldn't be where we're at. I wouldn't be in the relationship if she wasn't going to let me grind. Like, if you wouldn't let, because it's not me being me. I won't be the father that I need to be. I won't be the husband that I need to be, because it's like, when you buy a dog, you can read up on what it needs. You know what I mean? Like, some dogs, they don't need a lot. You could keep them in the house. They're kind of lazy, docile, you know what I mean? Chill. Other dogs, you read like, man, it needs a strong owner, or this dog needs a lot of exercise. Got to let him out, got to run. Like, I got to run. And in order, if somebody would stop me from that, we couldn't be together.
Instead of saying run, say pursue. I think like, you're not chasing, you're pursuing. Go ahead.
No doubt. And I think if more people would be real about that up front, it's like, have that conversation of, here's where I'm at, here's where I'm trying to go for us. Here's where I'm trying to go. And have a backbone about it, and also listen, and also have a backbone, because there's been times where Nat has geared me back, and I could literally count on one hand, I wouldn't even need a whole hand, on the amount of times I can remember Nat saying, like, you need to slow it down. You got to spend a little bit more time over here. I mean, not a lot, not many times. And the times that she has, it's made me better. It's made me better. I did need to zone in a little bit more with the kids. I did need to zone in a little bit more over here. And it still was applicable. It was still possible to do those things and grind. I just needed to organize, plan, schedule, make it more of a priority. But I think if people aren't, like, real with that conversation, like, I had a coach tell me one time, I said, what would you do? How you were working Saturdays because you had a game, and then Sundays you were watching film. And, all this stuff is going on. What would you do with the guys that had spouses? You're married. How would you handle that? And it's a high level coach. And, he said, man, I think either you got the wrong job or you got the wrong wife. And I don't know which one it is. I can't say you got the wrong wife. Maybe you got the right wife, but if that's her core values and this is your job, the job entails what the job entails. So 100%. I can't change the job and you still have success because you're only willing to, you don't want to watch film on Sundays, or you don't want to practice till 8:00 on Monday preparing for, XYZ team. And so you can't have those victories. But,
could it be, and I say this in the most humblest of ways, because I like the girl who, she wrote down all the notes for the podcast. I like Melissa. Thanks, Melissa, for the Alyssa, I'm sorry. Yep. Thanks for the notes, right? Yep. Could it be that the woman has to have the ability to learn the perspective of what this takes, and to not be so selfish, to think that spending all, like a man, I'll say this. The men I know,
and it's a lot of women killing it now. Like, I'd say 30% of my business
women is
females killing it. And it's almost a little role reversal. You know what I mean? Like, the women, the woman's the main income earner and crushing it and stuff like that. So I've seen this apply to where the male doesn't support. But you know who I've seen have the hardest time? Ooh. The male getting the support. Like, the woman, I feel like the women got the backbone to be like, look, bro, if you ain't supporting what I'm doing,
I'm going to get it.
Hit the bricks.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I've seen more women say that and like control that situation than I've seen the men be able to say, look, this is what we're doing. This is what needs to happen. How can we make this work together? How can I earn your support? How can I get you to get with me? I've seen some of the guys struggle.
That'd be, I don't understand how a gentleman couldn't communicate that to his woman, and she not understand it, or even this is what you threw me off when you said there's guys who are successful and they still have problems with having support. And my natural thought was maybe
like there's just people that want you there all the time.
Yeah,
like,
I couldn't.
Like, I need you home at 4.
I couldn't do that
every day.
It may be that's how they was raised. Think about that. They could have been raised in a household where daddy was home at 4, but I'll tell you like this, a lot of first generation women, and me and Ashley went through this, right? So I remember the first time that I made some money, right? So when I make some money, her natural thought was, hey man, we should take this money to go buy a house, right?
Yeah.
So I said, no, I'm going to invest this, right? And so in her mind, she was like, the hell you mean invest this? Like, you about to put this into something else? No, we should go put this in a house. And I was like, nah, I'm going to go to invest this, right? And then we made some more money. Then I said, I'm about to invest this, right? It's not until now and through education that she says, oh,
that's what
I get what you're talking. Like, she didn't understand cash flow.
Yeah.
Like, she did not understand the cash flow game. And the cash flow game is a lot slower than the let me go out and buy a house and feel good about putting a down payment on the house. Because you're not even buying a house. You're basically putting a down payment and having a mortgage. So she didn't understand that. So I'm thinking to myself, a lot of women may have come up not knowing it. They may have seen dad and mom and go to work and then they come home and then that's what family looks like to them. So they've not redefined family or defined it themselves or are listening to people who say, hey, your man's not home at 4, he's doing you wrong, even though the woman might not feel that way. And so I do every chance.
That's a lot of it. You hear noise from your friends, your girls, or your mom, or or whoever.
You said the most important thing though. Just like with coaching, some situations call for what they call for. So and we said in the last one, more success means more responsibility. More responsibilities mean not this 9 to 5, but me trying to steward a better life. We all want a better life. And like you say, with sacrifice, we all have to give something up.
Yep.
And so this is just this is par for the course, but a lot of us are first generation money.
Yep.
And so first generation money, so our kids may understand it. So my daughter may grow up and say, okay, if a dude going all day, I ain't tripping, he's not cheating on me or doing nothing goofy. He's just out building a business or he's out handling his business. If he's an entrepreneur, this is what it calls for.
Requires.
If a person's never seen that, they would think like he's giving you a raw deal. Yeah, absolutely. And
absolutely.
So I'll say this, as I was saying.
And so I would challenge that person to just educate yourself and your perspective, because that can't be the excuse. This is the way I am, or this is the way I was raised. Like, I was raised to be a pimp.
But you change it.
Have 10 of them. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like, that's the motto. That's what I was. Not my mom developed me that way, but the crowd, the environment was like, one woman, what are you talking about? So I had to change my perspective. I can't use that as this is the way I am. You got to adjust. But to move on to the next success habit, you got to sacrifice, man. You got to sacrifice. You got to give up something. What is it that you need to give up? Is it doing dumb shit in the middle of the day? Is it social media too much? Are you using social media or is social media using you? Waking up later, waking up too late, giving up too much sleep, giving up staying up too late. Show me somebody that gets up too late, they're probably staying up too late. Giving up bad, toxic friends, toxic relationships, and giving up your ego, sacrificing your ego. I can't tell you how many times to grow this business and to grow my relationship with my wife, I've had to humble myself and sacrifice my ego. Like, here's my ego. I'm going to go ahead and give that one up for you, okay, for the greater good. And so you got to sacrifice your ego, that you can't win them all. You know what I mean? You can't win them all.
I've learned that.
Right? Yes. I remember you text me, man, I feel like my lady punked me.
Yeah. If you're going to be in a relationship with somebody, you're going to get punked. Let me tell you like this. I'll finish with two things. If you're in a relationship, it is a fact. I don't care who do you think you are outside the house, your lady gonna chump you out. That's a given. She's chumping you out, right? And you're gonna be like, motherfucker, but I think I'm somebody, but you're gonna get chumped out. And the second one is giving up too much drinking and drugging. That is a hindrance. When you start rolling through the list, and that was one of my bigger things, is just to give up drinking and drugging and things that impair you.
Some people need to cut it out completely. You know what I mean? Yes. Like, like, I got some cats that I know that, man, when they get to drinking, it might be a riot.
They think they're 21 again.
It's going to be over with. You know what I mean? But like myself, tonight with you, I'm going to have a couple glasses of wine. I'm going to drink socially. You know what I mean? Some people can do that. Some people can't.
Let me break this part down for you, right? And so so a lot of people go through these like, oh, I feel like this, I feel like that, I feel like I can hope. So here's my deal, right? If for me, and I hope this, like I say it in like the cleanest and easiest way. If I go out tonight and I drink wine and I have cigars and I go home, like I'd be cool. Like this would be cool. Nothing happened, nothing like major in my life happens. But if you have somebody who has anger issues or you have underlying issues that you deal with and you process on a regular basis, and you've learned to condition to deal with them responsibly, you need to stay in a responsible space where your mind is healthy, clean, and clear. That if this stuff ever happens, you're not say, hey, let me drink when I'm mad at this, or let me smoke something when I'm mad at this.
I'm mad at this.
So when you close the door completely, this is no longer a solution. So it's not to say that you have a bad
in other areas.
So it's not to say that you have a bad time. Like it's no difference than I don't go to the strip club because if I go to you go to the strip club, but what happens when you horny and you go to the strip club? You feel where I'm coming from? You can go to the strip club tonight, have a nice time, walk out, like cool, nothing happens.
You be on TMZ.
You know what I'm saying? But if you're in a space where you're horny and you got a couple, this is serious. It's like an analogy, but it's in the same dark space. You know what I'm saying?
Great.
But if you're horny and then a woman's there, boom, something reckless happens. You feel where I'm coming from? It's the same thing with me. With you understand what I'm saying, Giovanni?
I do.
It's the same thing with drink. Like, so it's the same thing with drinking and drugging, right? The reason, like, I deal with not anger, but I deal with situations that's intense all the time, and so it's easier for me to process something with running. It's easier for me to process something with just laying down. It's easy for me to go to the massotherapy and just do that. It's easy for me to just find alternative ways to decompress myself.
Yes.
But we have these sayings in society where it's 5 o'clock somewhere, and I can't wait for Friday. We always look for these easy sentences for relief, and so I'm victim of it. Not victim, but I grew up in the same culture. I thought like, okay, man, I just drink, smoke when I'm mad at something. Nah, because then my thinking and my rationale just doesn't become right. You know what I'm saying? Even the responses that I would have to my woman. So if you just leave the door closed, you don't even have to worry about that being a limiting factor.
Right.
And then you start to explore stuff. You're like, okay, I need to.
You talked about you have stress and stuff going on all the time, bunch of moving parts. How do you handle? I think that's another success habit is more responsibility, more pressure, more stuff happening. How do you handle that? Like, what's the best way for somebody to handle the pressure and the stress? Because, I don't think the stress ever goes away.
Never.
And I think people don't like to hear that. And the way I explain it is two ways. If me and you want to get stronger and we hit the gym, we gonna start out repping 315, and to get to 400, you got to keep putting more stress on your body. You got to keep putting more weight on there, not less weight. But all of a sudden, 225 gets a lot easier. Handling the old stress, what used to be hard, is now a lot easier because you got stronger. You have to get stronger, but the weight don't change. The weight ain't gonna get like 225 is 225
forever.
It just is easier if you get stronger.
If you condition yourself.
If you want to be a big time quarterback and you under pressure in high school, what about when you get to college and there's 100,000 screaming fans and you down 4 with 1 timeout and 1 minute left? That pressure ain't going away. It ain't. The pressure to be great, I don't think is ever gonna just evaporate. But I can tell you personally, I don't feel the pressure as much as I used to feel the pressure. I feel more relaxed under pressure. And so what do you do to handle the pressure?
One thing that helps me, so I found out one thing that gives me anxiety is being unorganized. Being a super planner, being super organized.
Absolutely.
And even when you're super organized and things come up, like, so I owe Simon $2,000, y'all, right? So I owe him $2,000. And for me to give him this $2,000, I started to realize, like, I have no help. But then I have help because I have a lot of people who who I work with, but I don't give anybody access to my personal life. That's what I found out through this whole situation of getting $2,000 to you. I have nobody who has access to like my personal life, right? And I forget the point of the story, but I owed him $2,000, and it took me a while just to get it to him or get to a bank. But my day is so diligent and organized and structured from 4:30 a.m., which sounds crazy to somebody. Somebody would be like, man, you could just get to a bank. Nah, people who are diligent and being successful, they restrict their time to everything. And you know as well as I know, once 8 o'clock hits, you are like structured. To get to a bank to spend 15, 20 minutes is a task. And then you have to drive there, you have to get back, and so on and so forth. But I say all that to say, one way to handle stress, and I threw the story about the money, and I don't want that to distract. I just thought it was funny that it took.
It was for equipment for the podcast stuff that we do. It wasn't a loan. We didn't bet a game.
Yeah,
for the equipment.
Yeah, so but the point of the story was just like being super organized relieves stress, and so if something happens, you have like a schedule or you have some structure as to what needs to take place in your day. I think most people are stressed out and they allow things to weigh on them because they just don't have an.
What other than organization? I agree.
Organized day.
What else?
It sounds so fucking cliche. Sitting in my basement, man, and visualizing shit. You know what I mean? Like I don't really let too much bother me outside of like. So like I'm real good at like being like dismissive towards shit that doesn't really have nothing to do with me and what I'm working on. Like I'm so like when I get up here and I walk from point A to point B, I might be focused on getting from point A to point B in the moment, but my mind naturally just slips back into a place of what I have going on, what I have to do, whose messages I got to return, what emails I got to return, who am I looking to talk to, what conversation I'm looking to develop. And my mind functions and moves like that. And so like when you that far deep and worried about your shit, like other stuff just isn't important. You can kind of put it in its own place. Like, yeah, that really ain't got shit to do with me. And that's not to be dismissive.
I think people that, you know, they say if it ain't going to matter 5 years from today, don't spend more than 5 minutes on it.
I've never heard that.
I think people trip and stress over stuff that don't even really matter. It ain't even going to matter 5 years from today. I think staying calm under these pressures and realizing most of the stuff, like first of all, if you can't control it right now, like if I can't control it right now, I can't let it consume me and stress me out if I don't have any control over it. If I don't have any control over it ever, like other people, you don't always have the control over what they do. Then I can't allow these things to stress me out. And so I want to encourage you guys out there that are looking to have levels of success, that there's going to be levels of stress that come with it. And your go-to can't be drugs and alcohol. Your go-to needs to be building up your weight, building up yourself. Like cats are working. I love working on the bench. I love working on my jiu-jitsu game. But unless that's your profession, if you working more on your bench than you are on building your character, or more on your jiu-jitsu or boxing game than you are developing yourself, then you're not building yourself a platform to carry the weight that you ask for. So you're praying for success and greatness. Success comes with pressure. Pressure has to stand on a foundation of something. We're not building the foundation. We're trying to build this, but it don't have anything to stand on.
So it's gonna fall.
It's gonna fall down. So the one of the key success habits is being able to handle stress. Pick another one.
Hey, I was about to ask you, have you ever, and this is like a good habit of mine, people typically come, like, you ever have somebody come with like some stupid, you be like, man, if you don't get this fucking stupid shit out of here. Like, and that's
all the time. I did it today.
Yeah, that's a little bit more direct.
I didn't say it.
Hey, that's
I thought it.
And I'm just giving content to the platform. It's just, sometimes it doesn't have to be super complex. It's just, if something isn't for you, just, man, if you don't get this stupid shit out of my face, think it to yourself. And that's how you detach yourself from it, and just having a clean and cut way of doing it.
I don't think you could be the best leader. You know, they say leaders are readers.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure there's some people having success out there that don't read. There's probably a ton of them, but I don't think they understand how much more they could be obtaining or doing for their people, or they're sacrificing, for their people. I think leaders are readers, man. If you want to lead, you got to read. I think that's another success habit.
It's definitely a success.
Reinvesting into your business.
Yeah, that may be for a number of reasons.
Not spending all the profit, but reinvesting.
Nah, you have to reinvest into your business and grow your business and change your business and evolve your business, and that comes from sticking capital back in, which makes everyone believe that you believe in what you're working on. Those guys who take profits out of their business and shove them in their pocket, that would make me, from an investor standpoint or just from a personal standpoint, view them as somebody who didn't care to grow their business, especially if your company is public. Success happens. I don't know.
Relationships. I think to be successful, you need somebody else has to want you to be successful. You got to have a team of people. You got to have somebody working with you. Relationships. I think with people, investing into those relationships, developing those relationships.
I just want to tell like a little small story. Even when you said that, it made me think of my famous Taco Bell story. So I always tell people, and this has to do with relationships and not being selfish, but successful people do it, right? And I say you build a taco stand by yourself, you build Taco Bell with other people, right? And too many times I see people go at things alone.
I love that.
Yeah, too many people go at stuff alone in business, all for the purpose of feeding their ego, because they don't want to let nobody else do anything with them, right? They want all the credit, right? I want my name to be this person on this business, and I want to do everything. And what people don't realize, and this is a story, and I'll bring it all the way back home, and what typically happens is that when people who are novices in business or beginners, they think that they can actually roll forward like that. But what happens is that when you get into business, you're basically in a roundabout way telling everybody, fuck you, I'm trying to take some of your market share, right? So you're trying to take somebody else's customer, whether you know it or not, because the customer who you're either giving the product or the service to is basically having that product or service done elsewhere, right? And so you really think like your single-minded, narrow-minded, egotistical ass is going to come out here and do accounting and marketing and do storage and do so many other things that basically go into business by yourself. And what happens is when things don't take off the way you want to, and people offer to help you, or if a person comes to offer to be a capital partner or to give you some sort of input, you become resistant from your ego and not noticing that you need other brains to help to assist you. But those other brains can only get used if you're open to that relationship. And if you don't have relationship skills, it will show in your business, because you'll be fucking like stagnant. You'll stay stuck on this treadmill, and you won't understand how do you take this platform and grow this platform into something else. And I say that, and I hope that was probably one of the most important things I've ever said on this platform, because I see so many people struggle from not wanting other people to have credit or to be seen with them having success, and that has more to do with that person. And just think about this: if you get with somebody, and a lot of people are just too short-minded, right? When you get with somebody, the first thing that you do with that person doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest thing. That may be the deal that builds trust. And then now when you build trust, you can go on to the second deal.
Yes.
That may be a little bit more luxurious, because I can tell you in business, it's a lot like a war, and you need advocates and people to lean on and support just as you're moving down the road. Like you probably couldn't name the top fucking 10 people in your city who's having real success, and I'm pretty sure they don't stand alone. You go look at our city, the Cavellis, the Cafaros, the Bartlows. If you go to those people are they may be the ones who are noted and recognized. I go to you. You don't build AIL. You know what I'm saying? There's a team of people who help to build into you, who then you move forward with that team. Same thing with me, but I've seen people stay stagnant in business from not being able to form either relationships with people close to them or just other people who would like to do business with them, because just their relationship skills and the inability to have somebody assist you in moving forward just becomes like too much for their ego.
Let's talk about that on the next podcast. I think that's another one. Let's talk about how to take a business from one and multiply one red zone to 4 red zones, or one office to 20 offices. What do you think it takes to expand and to grow once you have something that's kind of moving? Let's let that be the next topic. So, man, we could go on and on about success habits. Hopefully this helped. If it helps somebody out there, do me a favor and share this with somebody. Give us a review on the podcast app. Give us 5 stars and a couple comments and share it with other people so we can continue to grow this thing. But thanks for the time that you invested into me and Maurice and Street Sports and Success. We'll see you next time.